Welcome back. 11:22 now on your Thursday morning. March is National Nutrition Month, a good way to get our diets back on track, of course, after possibly falling off on our New Year's resolutions. I know the Super Bowl definitely did that to me. Ashley Simper, Manager of Dietetic Services at OSF HealthCare, joins us this morning with some good tips on putting together well-rounded meals. Ashley, good to see you. Good morning.
You too, John.
All righty. So, first up, let's talk a little bit about what you brought in today. This looks fantastic. And yes, I did clarify, this is real. She did actually make this. What are we looking at, and what about it is making it so healthy?
So, as you mentioned, March is National Nutrition Month, and this year's theme is thinking beyond the plate. So, beyond the table, beyond the plate, more so when we make choices for our health, we also want to think about the environment. So that's kind of the theme all around. But it's also no time like the present to better balance our meals. And so that's what I brought today. Now, I don't know if you've heard of the My Plate. It took over the food guide pyramid back in 2011.
Okay.
And it is a depiction of a plate that have the portions and the food groups all very well rounded. So we're less focused on calories and measuring portions and more so on the variety of food we're getting. And so this has all the food groups included in here. So we have our vegetables as our steamed broccoli. We have some brown rice as our whole grain. We've got some fresh fruit, obviously for fruit. And then that's a cornmeal chicken with a little pico de gallo on it. And then we paired it with some low-fat milk. So that's all the food groups. That's a really well-balanced meal.
Yeah, I could say it looks like we're representing all colors of the rainbow on this plate.
We are.
The plate included. I do want to say I love that color. And we got some milk on the side here. Obviously, you want to make sure that you have the bright drinks to accompany the meal, right?
So low-fat, skim milk, water, unsweetened beverages, those are the things that are going to pair best with your meals.
Absolutely. What's some general advice that you would give the general public on making sure that they can find some easy ways to improve their day-to-day meal making?
So what I encourage people to do is really to kind of start small and gradual and set goals. So we don't encourage you cutting out food groups, making huge changes to your diet, starting fad diets, because they're just not sustainable. You want to do things slowly and realistically so that way you can build on those and make them lifestyle changes. So as I mentioned, no cut out food groups. Really think about what you can add. So a lot of people don't eat fruits and vegetables. Something simple like adding a vegetable to dinner 3 times a week or getting a fruit in for a snack twice a week. Those are some simple goals to set for yourself and just, you know, do those 1 week at a time. Don't make a bunch of changes at once.
Yeah, don't feel overwhelmed by the changes.
Yes.
As those changes are getting implemented, Ashley, there are definitely going to be some things that people want to subtract from their daily eating routines. What might some of those big foods be?
Well, I would say eat less of. We don't want you to cut things out. We don't say avoid certain things. It would be limit or eat less of things that are high in saturated fat, sodium, added sugars. It's really the entirety of your diet that matters and not about cutting food groups out.
I see.
Or certain foods.
Okay. Are there any big, like, repeat offenders that you've seen that people tend to gravitate towards that maybe you encourage those folks at home to cut back on a little more?
Well, beverages that have added sugars in them, so sodas, sweet teas, things like that, or even dining out, because it's really hard. I mean, you can eat healthy when you eat out. It takes some work ahead of time. You can look up the nutrition facts online and such, but a lot of times when we're eating out, the portions are huge and there is a lot of saturated fat. Sodium and added sugars and some of those things. So.
As easy as it is to consume those things without thinking, right? I think we've all been offenders of that. And of course, we want to think about the kids too, right? I mean, for one thing, the adults can put a meal together like this, but the kids, maybe you want to keep them away from the stove. So when the families are maybe putting together the lunchbox for the kiddos, what can parents do to help out?
Sure. So I encourage parents to still think about the My Plate, getting all of the food groups in, make it inviting and colorful with the fruits and vegetables, but also actually do include the children in the prep for the lunches. You know, they can assemble, they can scoop, and depending on their age, they can even chop. So the more engaged they are in preparing that lunch, the more likely they are to enjoy it.
Absolutely. What would your biggest message be, I think, with all this in mind, for anybody who's just looking to start off on the right foot with their diet journey?
Like I said, just start small. Think of 1 or 2 things that you could change each week. Don't do things drastically. Make sure it's going to be sustainable. Try and balance it with physical activity too, because that's, you know, that burns calories as well as, you know, we want to eat less calories or change the calories that we're eating, but we also want to burn calories. So being active is important as well.
Absolutely. Can't forget the exercise part.
Right.
Ashley Simper, thank you so much. And by the way, you're going to be coming back tomorrow at 9 o'clock for a special
here.
segment, and Rashawn and I will be with you for that. So
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, maybe something a little less healthy, but still healthy.
It'll be healthy.
It'll be healthy. We're looking forward to that. All right, we can check out this interview on 25newsnow.com after the show. We'll be back for the next half hour after the break.